two players to defend Adama. Let's see how they do it today. But Napoli wins a lot in attack. It's a player we saw it against Cagliari who likes to go up front and test the goalkeeper. So probably a more offensive change Adama Traore, or if they just believe in Mario Rui.
Well, it looks like Marc-André ter Stegen will have his work cut out for him indeed against this Napoli side, who we all expect will be more offensive. In fact, what?
Well, it wouldn't make a difference wherever we are. We want to win, no? League, and this is why we want to win the game. Not convinced by what we're doing right now. Yeah, definitely. I think this has a big influence on many games now, which makes the competition and everything nicer. And nobody's here to, okay, let's see how do we need to play. That's no, it's winning and nothing else. And this is what the supporters also want.
Well, Marc-André ter Stegen knows what the spectators want. He likes the fact that of course, the away goal has been ruled out. He's expecting more spectacle. Pau, it's something that we discussed as well on the countdown. We didn't get your thoughts about it. How do you see the fact that the away goal rule has been abolished, let's say?
At the end, it's definitely taking pressure out of players. At least another one variable they don't have to think about. It's about just getting a good result, better than the one that they got in the first game. To me, it's kind of fair. I'm not gonna have an opinion about market-wise if it's more positive or less for the business. But at the end, for the game, probably to me it sounds fair.
Marc-André ter Stegen, of course, who attended the media yesterday. He talked to Marc Brau after those two questions in English. He got asked two questions in Spanish, and the last question was, "Are you ready for the penalties?" And he says, "I'm always ready." I'm always ready. So, no, and he did say, of course, that is one of the things that the team had to prepare for today's game. Now, obviously, knowing the tender of penalties for that possible outcome in the game. An entertaining press conference for Marc-André ter Stegen, not because of the translation part.
A little bit longer.
It took a little bit too long. But obviously talking about how after injury, all the opinions that have been about him. He says he's set out to do his job and he's doing his best possible.
Yeah. Yes, and in the first four ties played at the first kickoff at 7 p.m., none of them are going to go to extra time. So, I mean, so far it's not making any effect, this new rule. We will have to see it now in the late kickoff games, the 4 legs remaining.
Also, Bruno, I mean, Robert touched upon the fact that a lot of the questions were geared with regards about his performances for the international viewers that are maybe not privy to what gets discussed in the local media. He has been on the end of some harsh criticism, in my opinion, too harsh.
Yes, it's always really tough to be a Barca's goalkeeper. In the end, they just arrive you 2, 3, 4 times in a game. You have to save all the shots. I mean, it's always really difficult. Has role in some goals, not being at his best, but on the other hand, he has saved also in same games where you can make a mistake, then he saves you a key ball. I mean, I don't think that marking the responsibilities of the problems of Bas and ter Stegen will be really unfair for all what he has been giving to the club during all his career, showing his commitment, his professionalism, and also the season has been important. I remember a game in Kiev, for example, who was key to get the victory and then keep alive in the Champions League. So ter Stegen is one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and I don't think this is a doubt. But I mean, as he was saying, also the press, you always have to write about something, and now you are going against me. I mean,
and the press always know better. The press always know better.
The couch coaches. Well, as the time is ticking away and we're nearing kickoff, I'm sure that the atmosphere must be heating up. So why don't we connect with Mai once more to get a feel of the atmosphere over at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. And also, Mai, we would like to know your prediction, of course, for today's match.
Well, guys, I have to go to my position with Jordi because we have to get ready for this game, which is about to start. Kickoff is just in some minutes. We're going in, and for sure, if I had to talk about my prediction, guys, the score, I would say is a 3-1 because I had this feeling that actually last time we played against Napoli in official competition, it was a 1-1 draw, and then we won at Camp Nou 3-1. Right now, the story is the opposite. We draw 1-1 at Camp Nou, and I feel that we're going to win today at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium for 3-1. Why not? I will talk to you guys after the game, so see you soon.
I like it, Mai. 3-1, an ambitious 3-1. I'll certainly sign on to that. It means no suffering, means we get to go home nice and Early? No, oh.
No, not early, but earlier.
Well, Maya touched upon it there. That was, of course, last season. But why don't we take a look at the result that happened just a week ago over in the Camp Nou, where things ended all square in the first leg.
It's that game in which Barca created no end of opportunities. We had a total of 21 shots. The banner there saying together, we are unstoppable. That's the opportunity that we were talking about before for Osimhen. The only time he managed to get into the box and test Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Good reaction there by our keeper. One of the things that Barca will have to keep an eye on, of course, is transitions, Paul.
Yeah, so Osimhen is a very dangerous player in terms of running backward. We know that Araujo and Piqué tend to run backward too, so we'll see how they deal with this player.
And here, the goal that Barca conceded felt a little bit like it came out of nowhere because Barca were dominating.
Yes, in the end, all these kind of details are going to be really important because in a really equal tie like this one, missing a chance like the one of Ferran today and then conceding this goal can decide your future in Europe. So then Ferran, he scored a penalty in a difficult game for him because he was having lots of chances but wasn't clinical at all. But this shows a lot from him, taking the responsibility to take this important penalty, and in a game that you know that you are probably not at your best, says a lot about Ferran Torres and his courage.
Yeah, are we right though, Pau, in saying that he was in the right place at the right time and all that was missing was that execution?
Yes, he did participate in generating those chances. Saying 21 shots, it's a lot, and he was very close to all of them providing options. So it's one of the best things he can provide, actually.
That was the last opportunity, the one we're going to see right now of Ferran Torres, set up by Luc de Jong, who came on late and also had an impact on how the team were playing and created a couple of opportunities for himself. We saw the desperation in the look of Ferran Torres. Hopefully there'll be a better outcome tonight.
We certainly hope so, and why not with the help of 3 new additions that, of course, made an enormous impact in that first game. Aubameyang, Adama, and Ferran Torres as well. 3 players, like I said, that has had an immediate impact. We were discussing yesterday, potentially maybe the best winter signings in the history of Barca.
Yes, I don't have such a good memory, not as good as yours, but
I mean, especially if we take into account that it's 3 impactful players.
Yeah,
sometimes we've made 1 impactful signing, like David.
I think that's the one. Right.
3 qualitative players.
Yeah. I don't remember any winter like this.
I only remember David's.
And probably has been the most expensive signing Ferran in a winter transfer for basketball for sure. I mean, you know sometimes or you don't spend so many money in winter, but in this case, well, the situation of Barca and the players that they have in summer, they were desperately going to the market, and in this case, I think all the team has done a brilliant job to find great replacements. One that has cost 55 million, but then the other one's free of charge. I mean, on loan and with great deals, I think. So a fantastic transfer market for Barca, and all these 3 signings showing the talent and giving points and goals for the Blaugrana so far.
3 players who've made an immediate impact, which is rare to see. We saw Adama come on against Atletico Madrid looking electrifying. Ferran scoring in his second game in that Super Cup, cup game in Bilbao. And Aubameyang getting a hat-trick, a debatable hat-trick maybe, but a hat-trick nonetheless.
Hat-trick even. Yeah, exactly. Eventually, the Espaldinha, right, that of course contributed to his hat-trick. Another player that is having an impactful season is 19 years old, and he's hailed as one of the greatest football talents in the world by his head coach, Xavi Hernandez. He does have an opportunity to commend this player's performance, and I'm of course talking about Pedri.
Pedri is magic. He's creative. He's got great vision. He's competitive. Pedri és
espectacular, sí. A nivell de talent, jo crec que no hi ha un talent més gran en el món en aquests moments que Pedri.
At the young age of 19, he's become the player you call over when things aren't going your way. He's the player who you tell.
Ha de marcar diferències per l'equip, no només en el joc, sinó arribar a l'àrea, xutar.
And he goes out and Pedri has dazzling. The game is played at his pace.
Que dona pausa, que no la perd, que es perfila per un cantó, per l'altre, domina les 2 cames. Bé, és un futbolista superlatiu.
He's missed a big part of the season due to injury, but he's come back firing.
Yo tenía la confianza de trabajar bien y trabajar trabajar para volver lo mejor posible y la verdad que ha sido así. El míster está confiando en mí y muy contento por la confianza y espero pues volverse en el campo.
The mutual trust is there. Right now, he's hard to stop on a football pitch. Control, turn, go. Control, turn, go. Like student, like teacher. Pedri plays for the rhythm of his own music. He dances to it on the pitch. Every step in sync. It's poetry in motion. Are there any limits to what he can do?
Y no, eso no me gusta ponerme límites, quiero seguir pues disfrutando de lo que hago día a día y mejorando, que es lo que tengo que hacer.
Continue to enjoy what you're doing, Pedri. We've all got your back.
Hem de cuidar, l'hem de mimar, que estigui feliç, que estigui content.
Well, we certainly hope that, of course, he will be happy, and it looks certainly that way, Pau, looking at the way that he plays, the way he's, of course, gelled in from the very first day with his team, and now having to teach him or continue to his development, the likes of Xavi, just it must be a match made in heaven for these two, for both coach and player, that I mean.
Yes, you don't know how these players have this Barca DNA inherent to themselves. They just come here, they in home, they feel very comfortable with the colleagues, with the teammates, start from the very first day, and it's just a fantastic player, especially when he plays with not many spaces. I heard somebody saying that when everything happens quick, he has the capacity of making it go slowly but more precisely, and then being the fastest, or the most efficient one, which at the end is what we want.
Yes, we've talked about signings, about the winter transfer signings. Pedri was signed 2 years ago, and if he continues like this, probably can be the best signing of Barca. And I don't know if in the whole history, but in recent history, for sure, Ramon Planas was in charge of the secretarial area, and I mean, it was fantastic. We were discussing about the winter transfer markets, and well, it's true that the most expensive was Coutinho, because he was supposed to be signed in summer, but then there was all the problems. Yeah, Coutinho was, I mean, a big sign. Hasn't worked like everyone was expecting, and now let's see if Ferran can add these goals without Aubameyang and Alaba.
Well, Pedri sent out a tweet, or Barca rather sent out a tweet earlier today saying our young guns are ready for Napoli, Barca. Seeing Gavi, Nico there, and Pedri, these three, the future, the present and the future of this.
Good company there, great company there. The two players who are not starting today, Gavi and Nico, I'm sure we'll see them in the game. It would be very surprising to me if we don't see them in the game today. They're two players, two of Xavi's favourite players, of course. And the future is bright when you see that photograph.
No, it's amazing, the atmosphere that all these young group of players are creating. These new energies, and the best news is that they are almost all under 20 players, so it's fantastic because they can shine in the future for Barca. And also a really important aspect is that all of them, Pedri, Gavi and Nico for sure, but also Pedri, they all love the colors. Gavi and Nico because have been in the academy, and Pedri, we saw him with 10, 12 years old in a Peña there in Tenerife, with the fans club there, with President Laporta in his first era, signing a shirt, and he always has also supported Barca, and that's really important, to be where you want to be and to feel the colors in the end.
Well, it seems that we could sit here all day and talk about these players, but as we can see on our screens, the players have already taken to the pitch as even though the anthem of the Europa League is playing, so that means at this point in time I would be asking for your scores. When we start with our guest, Pau.
I think it's going to be a 0-2 for Barca.
Okay.
2-1 up for Barca. I think it's going to be a really tight game.
Pau saw me voting on the Barca app on my phone and copied my result. I was going with 2-0 as well. I'm going to submit my vote on the Barca app right now.
2-0. Okay, good. I'm going to go... Guys, I think it's going to be a long night. I'm going to go for 2-2. We're going to win this one in penalties. I'm really sorry, but that's what my gut is telling me. Of course, you at home can participate in this as well by downloading the app or going to the website by guessing the score. It's called the Matchday Challenge, and you'll be privy to exclusive prizes by guessing the score, taking part in the game quiz, and eventually rating the game at the end of it. You can win shirts, Barca shirts, and a trip over to Barcelona to watch the Clásico next season. One more time the lineups? Yes.
Take one more look at the lineups for tonight's crucial game in Naples. We will start with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in goal. Defensive line of four with Serginho Dest, Araujo, Piqué and Jordi Alba. In midfield, Sergio Busquets, Pedri and Frenkie de Jong. And up front, the three signings from the winter transfer market, Adama, Aubameyang and Ferran Torres. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for Luciano Spalletti and Napoli. Alex Meret in goal, a 4-2-3-1 formation with Di Lorenzo, Rahmani, Koulibaly and Mario Rui at the back. The double pivot with Fabian Ruiz and Deme. Elmas on the right, Insigne on the left. The attacking midfielder will be Zielinski, and up front, their top scorer this season, Osimhen. Diego.
Yes.
We shall see you in
Indeed.
the post-game.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully to celebrate the win, and that will be in tomorrow's draw for the next round of the Europa League.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Godspeed, gentlemen.
Right. I'm hoping you won't get your prediction right, by the way, because I'm really not looking forward to extra
What the
time.
gut tells me. What the gut tells me.
You want to go early at home, Robert, this evening?
I don't want the tension of extra time. I don't want the tension of extra time or penalties.
We should have said 1-1, 2-2.
1-2, yeah, 0-0, the boring
Exactly.
result. Anyway, the players are on the pitch, ready to go. Barca playing in the Señera kit, and Napoli playing in a kind of dark blue kit there.
A fantastic atmosphere at the now called Diego Maradona Stadium, sold out of 75% capacity. That's important. They don't have full capacity stadium yet due to COVID-19 restrictions. And just another important stat, or fact, that Gerard Piqué and Gavi are the two Barca players that are one card away from suspension.
Okay, we'll have to keep an eye out for that as we're waiting for the game to start. 9 o'clock kickoff in Naples, and Barca looking for a win to make it into the round of 16 of the Europa League, where the leaders of the group stage of the Europa League are waiting for us. Among those teams that we could get drawn against: Spartak Moscow, West Ham, a few more.
Olympique Lyonnais,
Lyonnais.
Frankfurt, Monaco.
I was trying to go off the top of my head there, Bruno, and I forgot. Anyway, the players took a knee like they did in the first leg at the Camp Nou before the game got started. Barca with the first possession, but Jordi Alba with a bad touch there, and the ball goes out for a throw-in. So, first 15 seconds of the game. And Napoli with the ball now, they throw the ball away. Another throw in for Barca. Barca regain possession. What are we to look out for today, Pau? For example, one of the things that Xavi has changed compared to last week is that Serginho Dest is starting at right back. Mingueza did a brilliant job on Insigne. Obviously, the captain will be looking to make a bit more of an impact for Napoli today, and it's going to be, I'd say, a busy night for Serginho Dest.
Yes, he's going to have to see whether or not he will follow Insigne in the inside spaces, which we know that he likes to occupy. He also will have to be very careful on when he's going up, paying attention to this player. But if we saw in the last game that Adama had two opponents, let's see what happens tonight if Serginho Dest joins Adama. How many players can we actually attract from Napoli then?
Napoli recover the ball. On the subject of Serginho Dest, we tend to think, in the absence of Dani Alves, we tend to think of Mingueza as the defensive approach and Dest more as the attacking approach. But the other day in Mestalla, Dest did a wonderful job on a dangerous player like Brian Gilles.
Absolutely, he was key player in defense. Serginho Dest, we all think that probably his best aspect of the game is always in attack, but also defending. The other day he showed a great performance. It's also another big test for him tonight. But I think that little by little he's also getting the confidence from Xavi Hernandez. Of course, there's also signing from the former Barca manager Ronald Koeman, and this also always for a player it's important when you know you have all the support from a manager. But in this case, I think that Xavi step by step, and little by little, he's also believing in Serginho Dest.
And let's not forget, of course, that Dest didn't get very many minutes at the beginning of Xavi's tenure, but he was coming from an injury.
Absolutely, and also remember, because sometimes we
يلعن الجوال الخايس.